Good evening and welcome to Psychology A-Level at Skipton Girls High School. Tonight's presentation will provide you with an overview of what the course entails and why it is a good choice for your A-Level. There will also be an opportunity for questions with myself, the curriculum lead for psychology, or Miss Holsworth, a psychology teacher in the department, at the end of the presentation. As a new area of study, let's start with what is psychology? Psychology is the scientific study of the human mind and how it dictates and influences our behaviour, from communication and memory to thought and emotion. In an ever-changing society, Psychology A-Level continues to grow in both popularity and relevance, with its focus being the understanding of human behaviour. The A-Level course allows you to explore a broad range of key psychological concepts while learning to appreciate the human condition. Psychology lessons are a place to engage your curiosity, challenge your thinking, and discover your own passion for the subject of psychology. The AQA specification requires all students to study a total of 11 units over 2 years, each of which are then examined in the final 3 examination papers. The questions within these papers vary in length, with short answer questions ranging from 1 to 6 marks, with full extended answers ranging up to 16-mark essay responses. The skills assessed include knowledge and understanding of scientific ideas and procedures, application of knowledge, and analysis of information and research. Paper 1 begins with a study of social influence. This topic investigates the reasons why we behave in the way that we do, with a particular focus on obedience to authority and conformity. We also look at the practical implications of such knowledge. Further to this, we investigate many famous studies, including that of Zimbardo and Milgram. The second topic area that you will study is that of memory. Here you learn the different types of memory and how each one is stored in the brain. You will also look at how situations affect memory differently, including the accuracy and recall of key information. The unit of attachment is concerned with developmental psychology. Here you will look at early childhood experiences with a special focus on attachments between infants and their parents. It will consider how far we are fixed by childhood events and how much capacity we have for change and development in later life. In the unit of psychopathology, we look at the various ways in which behaviour might be defined as abnormal. You will look in detail at OCD, phobias, and depression. There are many different perspectives that have been taken to the study of human behaviour, each of which offers a unique approach. Paper 2 begins with the exploration of the 6 key approaches in psychology. These include biological psychology, behaviourism, social learning theory, cognitive psychology, psychodynamic perspective, and the humanistic approach. Paper 2 also draws attention to the growing field of biopsychology and the influence that our genetics, neurology, and physiology has on our thinking and behaviour. Underpinning all modern psychological theory is a firm foundation of rigorous research, and therefore a large component of the Psychology A-Level is in your understanding of research skills and the knowledge of the methodologies available for the investigation of human behaviour. Each of these are as varied as the topics studied and range from laboratory experiments devised by the early behavioural and cognitive psychologists to the in-depth case studies conducted by Sigmund Freud in his development of psychoanalytical theory. There is also a strong focus on the use of both quantitative and qualitative data and the implementation of descriptive and inferential statistics. In your second year of study, we will continue to address some of the wider debates and issues in psychology, such as the gender and cultural bias that resides in psychological theory and the ethical issues concerning research. We also engage with the big philosophical questions regarding human behaviour. When studying schizophrenia, you will look into the characteristics of the disorder, how it has been classified in the past, as well as debunking some myths and stereotypes surrounding the disorder. We will also look at whether or not it has a biological basis or whether it is caused by social upbringing, cognitive deficits, or social inadequacy. We will also look at the treatments that are used to relieve some of those symptoms. The unit of aggression looks at the potential causes of aggression from your genetic makeup to the exposure of media and video games. It also investigates aggression within prison settings, raising questions about whether such institutions add to the problem or help to resolve it. The unit of gender begins by exploring the meaning of the terms sex and gender before debating where the behavioural differences identified in men and women come from. It also explores what happens when there is a conflict between an individual's biological sex and their sense of gender identity. In Psychology A Level, you will develop a wide range of skills, including communication through questioning and debate, tolerance of alternative opinions through empathy and understanding, and analytical skills through exposure to scientific research. Beyond the classroom, you will find there are many different ways to consolidate your learning, widen your knowledge, and apply your understanding. From documentaries to journal articles, you will find psychology is everywhere. Psychology is an incredibly exciting and dynamic subject that will give you an insight into the activity of the human world. It interleaves well with many other A-level subjects such as biology, English, history, geography, and business, while providing many employment opportunities beyond university. Here are just a few. Now let's hear from some of our current Year 12 and Year 13 psychology students.
I chose psychology because it's fun, interesting and new.
I chose psychology because at university I'm looking into studying sports psychology and psychotherapy.
I chose psychology because it has the ability to open up many different career paths.
I was already interested in studying psychology, but the reason why I eventually chose it was because other sixth formers were going to continue it at uni.
I chose psychology because I thought it seemed really interesting and you can relate it to everything in real life.
I chose psychology because it links in with my other subjects which are geography and biology, and it's just as interesting as the other two, and it just goes well.
Favourite topic in psychology is psychopathology because it gives a greater understanding into mental disorders, which is something I've always been interested in anyway.
The topic I enjoyed the most in psychology was biopsychology because I do biology as well, so it complements it really well and I find it the most interesting.
So I really enjoyed the social influence topic of psychology. It's fascinating because it can help you understand real life and past events such as the Holocaust.
I really enjoy memory because it's interesting to see how our own minds can change our perceptions of memories and make us remember things that we didn't know already, and I think that's really helped with learning how to revise for A-levels and doing other things to do with our revision and learning.
The part of psychology I've enjoyed studying the most is psychopathology. I think it's got really important aspects, especially applicable in real life as well as high schools and things, which is so important. I found I got really passionate over it and kept conducting like extra little bits of research into it because I found it so interesting and all the applications it has.
I find psychology quite discussion based. We have a lot of debates and it's very interesting, and I find it quite challenging as well.
I find psychology relevant, insightful and fun.
Psychology is fun, engaging and useful for my own life.
Psychology is challenging, however it's also very, very fun and interesting.
When deciding whether or not to study psychology, you should consider the following. Do you find yourself asking big questions about why people do the things that they do? Do you enjoy discussing and debating surrounding topics and issues within society from both the past and present day? Are you open to challenging your way of thinking as well as that of others? Do you find yourself wanting to know more following events that you see on the news, issues raised in documentaries, or even films? Are you interested in people, whether that's from a social situation of being around them, supporting them, or working alongside them? If you have confirmed your chosen choice and career path, or even if you are yet to decide, are you open to exploring new and exciting topic areas?